Hey everybody, it's Mr. Buro from Staten Tech, and today we're going to be doing something called dimension driving in Revit. Dimension driving is using temporary dimensions in order to move items around that have already been placed, so they end up being in the exact position that you prefer, and more importantly, relative measurements all around them are what they expect it to be based on plans or based on future planning. So let's take a look. I created this house, which is incomplete, just to demonstrate this. I'm going to go to the level 1 floor plan. On this floor plan, you see walls of all different types, doors of all different types, windows of all different types, and things like that. So I'm going to focus in over here and show you very simply that if I click on this wall, you see some dimensions pop up. Now these are temporary dimensions because if I click off of them, they disappear. They're only really there in order for you to modify existing things. So if I click on that, like I was saying, you see a couple of things. First, notice that the wall that is highlighted is going to be the wall that is affected. And I can go ahead and click and drag this and then observe what is happening with those dimensions, of course, but that's not really what I am trying to accomplish. What I'm trying to accomplish is playing with these dimensions here. So for instance, if I wanted this particular wall to be not 17.5 feet away from this wall, but exactly 20 feet away from that wall, and more importantly, I want to measure it specifically from the interior face of the room to the other interior face of the room. In order to accomplish that, I'm going to zoom in a little bit and show you that these things over here, these are called witness lines. If I highlight my mouse on it, you see where it says move witness line. Now that means basically if I want to move it, I could just click it and bring it to something else. I could bring it to the center of these sliding doors, or perhaps the edge of this window, or the center of this window. I have a lot of different options to select just by kind of moving my mouse over and checking where they go. But what I said before was I did want to measure to the interior face of this wall. Now I'm not going to try to snap onto that because as you see I can't. It'll just snap onto the wall itself because it's looking for objects. But instead of clicking and dragging the witness line, I'm going to just click it and let go to toggle it to the interior face. It goes from interior face, exterior face, and core. And then continuously, as I click it, it will just jump to those places. So I want the interior face here. And I'm going to click this one over here to also select the interior face of this room that I'm referring to. And then once I have that, I'm just simply going to click on the dimension and type 20 feet. If I wanted to then say that this window over here, if I wanted to move it, I'm just going to hit activate dimensions if the dimensions don't pop up. And I want to say like the left edge of this window, I would like it to be exactly 6 feet into the room instead of 6 feet and 15/16. So I just type in 6, press enter, and it will move ever so slightly. And then I can go ahead and take this window and move it so it snaps against it. Very carefully. Same thing with these sliding doors. If I click on the sliding door, you can see that the center of the sliding door is 4 foot 3 inches from the edge, but I'm really concerned more with the left edge and the interior face here, or maybe the exterior face. So I'm going to toggle this to the exterior face of the wall, and then I'll move this witness line to the left edge, and I'll pick this to be 2 feet. And there it is. It moved. So as you can see, just by using these temporary dimensions, I can really modify these things as much as I'd like. Use them in conjunction with other tools such as the Align tool or other things, and you'll be surprised how much customization you could possibly have inside of Revit. let's take a look over here at this temporary wall I had made with 3 windows. This is what it looks like in 3D. Over here. Okay, so I'm about to modify those windows. In 3D, if I click them, you'll be surprised that witness lines don't just exist in 2D. If I wanted to actually change the height of this window in reference to the height of the wall, I can do that too. I could just make it maybe 1 foot away from the wall, and it will go ahead and move it. If I want to return it, I can just kind of slide it down and estimate the alignment, or I could of course use the dimension again to remove and press it as a 3, or I could have used the align tool. I'm going to go ahead and move these windows so they're very irregularly spaced out, and go back to that 2D view and show you that they are spaced in a very irregular way, like I said. But if I wanted to, I can go ahead and move it. Remember, I'm going to click this window, so that's the window that's going to move, and I'll change this to maybe 3 feet, 6 inches. So I'll put 3 feet, 6 inches, and it will move it over to that distance. If I want the dimension to stay there, I simply click this, and then the dimensions are there permanently. That's not what I had wanted though, so I'm going to erase those. Here's another weird feature. If I go ahead and click to draw dimensions for these objects, and then place them, I have this button here to toggle dimension equality. And once I click this, it'll spread apart the windows to be equally spaced. And I'll be able to modify that as much as I like afterwards. As you can see, all of the windows are being adjusted because of that equally spaced toggle. So that's how you use temporary dimensions. I highly suggest not worrying when you're building something to be exactly where it's supposed to be. So for instance, if I wanted to just quickly build a rectangular walled room like that, and then all of a sudden I want to decide that I want the room to be 20 feet wide on the interior and only 5 feet high on the exterior. I can quickly do that, and I don't have to worry at all because it's exactly what I wanted it to be. So please use these temporary dimensions in order to have the full level of customization that you really desire when you're working inside of Revit to place anything, not just walls, but doors and windows, components, and that's about it. Thank you very much.